You have been singing for quite some time now, and there are all these instruments out there on your wall. So tell us about how did you start to sing, and when did you decide that this is the career you want to pursue?
Yes, so I started singing when I was really young. I started singing when I was four and actually got started singing in church. And
Okay.
I just always kind of knew at a young age that singing and music was what I wanted to do. And it's just
Mhm.
something that always came natural to me. So I started singing when I was four, doing my own shows out in public when I was 14. And just starting really young, I feel helped me become who I am today because I've learned a lot of different things. I've worked with a bunch of different people and just seen the ropes of the music business, even though, right now
Mhm.
I am probably not even above the surface of what you could see,
Hmm.
especially being in Nashville. But I did start very young, and I feel like it has really helped shape me into who I am today.
So what would you have been had you not been a singer professionally?
I don't know. That's a good question. I know for the longest time I always wanted to be a teacher, but
Okay.
as time has went on, I don't know if I would be a teacher because they got a hard job. They got a
Yeah, it
hard job
is.
teaching the individuals of today that are moving up in the world. So
Huh.
I give them a
Yeah.
lot of credit, but I really don't know what I would have been.
Okay.
I guess we'll never know.
Huh, yeah, that's true. And music, it's a very saturated career as well. It's very competitive because any artistic field is highly, highly competitive where you come across a lot of rejections while you're trying to scale your career. So, how do you deal with these professional rejections on your personal level? How do you overcome them?
I think at the end of the day, everything is just a stepping stone on the ladder. And, one no could lead, or a thousand no's could lead to one yes. And I
Hmm.
just think that whatever happens with whatever you're doing in life, you just keep moving forward. And if it didn't work out the way you wanted to, at least it was a learning experience and you can move forward with a different mindset. But I just say take it day by day.
Okay, and talking about your appearance for the blind audition at The Voice, what preparation go into, making sure that your performance is your absolute best and you have judges turning their chair for you?
I just went out there and gave it my all, especially with me being the very last person that auditioned. It was very
Hmm.
stressful, but
Hmm.
I went out there and I was like, it's make it or break it. I'm going to show them what I have, and it's good enough to turn. And thankfully, Snoop did turn very last second. So I'm
Yeah,
very
and how did you feel when that happened? Like, did that overcome your nervousness? How did you, the moment you see a judge turn, but then you are like, okay, you need to keep singing because there are other people as well who need to turn. So, how did you handle that roller coaster of emotion?
well. I started singing, and then I always like there was this point in the middle of the song where that's where they would turn, but he didn't. So I was, well, you know what? I gave it my best shot, and happy opportunity to audition. But then when he turned, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so insane. So I was so honored to have been picked to have been on a team.
Everybody was unique in their own way. And since it is art, nobody does it the same way. So, no two people are the same in this field. So, what was your strong points, your unique points that set you apart from rest of the singers there?
That's a really good question because, like you said, everybody is just so unique in their own way. And I feel like a lot of people, especially with me, I feel like I had one of the most like Southern accents down there.
Hmm.
Everybody was so drawn to it and they all remembered me for that reason, as well as just I had a lot of people saying I had just a very unique tone. And, I
Hmm.
incorporate kind of like a yodel flip and I have like that classic country sound to my
Hmm.
singing every now and then, depending on what I do. So I feel
Hmm.
like that's kind of what set me apart. And especially with all of the talent that was on this season, um, in the country route, I feel like we had a lot of pop country, but then we also had more of like the traditional or 2000s country sound. So I feel like that's just kind of where I fell into play.
Okay, and what sort of a music genre do you associate yourself the most with? So, basically, what I mean to ask is like if people were to recognize you by this one particular sort of music that you engage in, what would that be?
Probably country as far as
Hmm.
the I've really been trying to brand myself in that 2000s country sound because that's just
Hmm.
what my favorite route of country has been, and I feel like that's what my voice really fits in, like the Miranda Lambert days, Carrie Underwood days, that kind of country. But I do have a lot of people tell me that I sound like the older country with the Loretta Days, Patsy Cline, Tammy Wynette kind of
Mm.
vibe. So that's kind of my route. I'm definitely not really on the pop country side of
Hmm.
things. I just like country.
Okay, and Mackenzie, how different, since you have been singing from a very young age, you have sang in church before, and then you went on to your school and you must have been singing there as well. How different it is to be singing in a non-competitive zone to compare to singing in a show as widely acknowledged at The Voice. Are you more nervous there? Are you more confident there? What's the difference between the way you sing and these two different scenarios?
I feel like I could definitely say it's a lot more stressful being involved on a show aspect than
Hmm.
a like out in public venue
Hmm.
aspect, because being on the show was just so nerve-wracking because
Hmm.
you want them to turn, and then also
Hmm.
too you want to be able to audition, because
Hmm.
if the teams fill up before you get to go, you don't get to go. So I was like so worried that I wasn't going to be able to have been given the opportunity to audition. And there was so much involved with the audition process of being on the show. But comparing it to my everyday shows that I
Hmm.
do out in public, that's a lot more easy to me because I'm such a people person. And
Yeah.
that's one thing I take pride in at my shows is I'm very one-on-one with people in the audience. And I could be playing for 1 or 100 people and I'm gonna interact with everybody in my own way. So I feel like that's a lot easier compared to being on a TV show.
Okay, and you talked about the way you interact with your audience. So, how has the audience interaction and their involvement and their reach towards you changed after your appearance at The Voice? How are people reaching out to you now? How is your engagement on social media? And tell us how your fans have been interacting with you after the show.
They've been very supportive. I've definitely been introduced to a lot of new people, and a lot of people have been introduced to me. So they've all been very supportive, so kind with all of the comments that they've been giving me, especially on my journey of The Voice. And a lot of people out there, they've been loving my music, they've been buying my merch items, and just
Mhm.
overall, it's been very positive.
Okay, that's lovely. And Mackenzie, what are the different opportunities that you realized opened up more easily to you after you were finally a contestant at the show, which something you might have found difficult to access before as you know, as an independent singer?
Hmm. I guess kind of working a lot more with group stuff, because now that
Mm.
I've been on The Voice and have been with my team on Snoop Dogg's team,
Mhm.
all of us on his team, as
Mhm.
well as Snoop's team
Mhm.
themselves, we're all just kind of like intertwined with one another now. So we've been given a bunch of opportunities that we would have never been given before. Like he
Mhm.
had flown all of his contestants that have currently been eliminated out to
Mhm.
California again, this time last month to perform at the halftime show for the Steelers Chargers game. So I'm like, that would have never happened had I not been on The Voice. And Snoop is just such a kind,
Mhm.
giving person, and he really makes sure that we're all involved with one another. So I feel like that's definitely something that's been different, just working with a bunch of different people and just getting to know one
Mhm.
another.
Okay, that's really lovely. And while you might have had so much good learning working with different people in your team, but at the end of the day, while you were there at the show, you realized that it was a competition and everybody was out there to win. And someday or the other, there could only be one winner, rest have to be eliminated. So, did this fear of elimination ever bother you? And if it did, how did you overcome that fear?
I can truly say being eliminated from the show never bothered me in that
Mm.
aspect, as far as like of losing per se.
Mhm.
But the thing that did bother me was just coming back home. And it
Mm.
was kind of just like a bittersweet moment, because we're all out there together, we're all getting to know one another, and you basically create like a whole separate reality. And
Mhm.
then you're out there for so long, and then once the time comes that you do get eliminated, it's basically like they're like, okay,
Go
go
back.
back to your everyday life. And it was almost like I didn't know how to be in
Hmm.
my normal life again, because
Okay.
you're all just with one another. You create your own daily routines, and then it's just like in the blink of an eye, it's all gone. So it was just kind of bittersweet being away from all of the friends that I got to meet and
Hmm.
everybody out there that made the whole season happen. But that was the only thing that was difficult to deal with. But that's the beauty in social media, is I get to
Hmm.
talk to all of them every day,
Hmm.
and we've all met up with one another, even out here in Nashville, especially a lot of people
Hmm.
from this season were out in Nashville. So I get to see them quite a bit.
So, are you looking forward to collaborating with them once the show finally is over and everybody is back to their normal life? Are you looking forward to collaborate with the singers you were part of for the team?
Yes, we've actually done a little showcase down in Nashville. We had done one in everything like blurs together. It was either at the end of September or in October, but we did a showcase down at a venue in Nashville called Third and Lindsley, and a bunch of us all came together and kind of did like a writers round setup where we just sang with each other, and everybody loved it to the point where they wanted us to keep doing it. So they just had a showcase in November, and I'll be a part of one this month. So
Hmm.
I'm very excited to reconnect with all of them and to just share all of our memories we made.
Okay, that's lovely. And Mackenzie, do you have any regrets regarding your Battleground performance or the performance before the elimination? Do you ever think that if you did something a different way, you might have made it, longer in the show than you did?
I often think about that. And, I have tried as I've gotten older to not dwell on things
Hmm.
because I feel like that can really hurt your mental if
Hmm.
you're just like, oh, I
Absolutely.
wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done
Hmm.
that. Why didn't I do this?
Absolutely.
Like, I feel like that's not mentally healthy. And so I did have moments of being like, could there have been something I done different? Because of course I got eliminated in battles, and my battle
Hmm.
partner was Lauren Anderson, and we crushed our song Before He Cheats. And the song came very natural to me, and I've sang the song for years, and I just kind of wanted to stick more to the original melodic arrangement, whereas Lauren, she brought her own little twist and brought her way of singing the song because she's not really country, but
Hmm.
she very much has that southern blues vibe to
Hmm.
her, which can go hand in hand with country. So she really changed up the song in her own way. And whereas for me, I just kind of stayed true to what I wanted to do and how I wanted to sing it, what came natural. So I guess at the end of the day, I can't say I regret much because I felt like if I had really changed a lot of stuff, that it wouldn't have been comfortable to me. Because
Hmm.
I sing the song everywhere at my
Hmm.
shows. People just
Hmm.
love hearing it, and I've just
Absolutely.
always sang it the same way every time. So it's just something that came natural to me, and I always just wanted to go in with my best foot forward. So I think overall, it is what it is. He had to pick a winner, and I'm
Hmm.
so happy that Lauren got to proceed. But again, I'm so honored to even be on this team because he's still
Hmm.
very much involved with us, even
Hmm.
outside of the show.
Okay, and what is this one advice that you have taken from your mentor, especially Snoop Dogg, that has really inspired you, and now you look forward to implying that in your future music career?
Just continuing to stay true to who you are, as well
Hmm.
as, you know, knowing that you have a support system because
Hmm.
Snoop is very big on, especially for his team, all of us being a family. And we are.
Hmm.
We're all a family. We all see each other as brothers and sisters. And this is just like a lifelong thing.
Hmm.
And he's always been very big on, uplifting one another, supporting one another. This isn't something to be cutthroat with. This isn't something to be competitive with. We're all in this together. And that's something that I found very beautiful because I do feel like a lot of times the music business can be very cutthroat and it can be
Hmm.
very just back and forth at
Back and
times, but
forth.
especially with this, it was very, very positive and just a truly once in a lifetime opportunity.
Okay, and Mackenzie, since you have been singing from a very young age and you have seen the music career like a lot for a long time now, how have you transformed as a singer while you were very young to your early 20s and to where you are today? Has there been a significant transformation, or is it like the same Mackenzie who would go and sing at the church?
Would definitely say it is a significant difference because, when I started at a young age at 4, I just sang for fun. And then,
Hmm.
as I started getting older into my teenage years, I was like, okay, this is something I really like to do. But I was so
Hmm.
nervous and I just didn't know what I was doing. But as I got older and after each milestone just kept
Hmm.
going with my age of getting older, I just
Hmm.
started becoming a lot more comfortable with who I am.
Hmm.
And I always tell people that I even encounter at shows. I'll have young musicians out there, young and aspiring artists be like, what's something that you can tell my daughter or son that's wanting to go into music? And I always tell them
Hmm.
to never be afraid of failure and
Absolutely.
to just continue being you. And that's just kind of what I've always stuck with, because had I done something, then it didn't work out, you can't
Hmm.
just stop. You have to like
Hmm.
keep moving forward, and
Absolutely,
you
yes.
just gotta keep pushing forward. And like I said, you can have a million no's, but that one person may give you a yes, and it could like change your life. So don't be afraid to take risks and just keep being you, and it'll all pay off in the end the way the Lord sees it fit.
Okay, that's very insightful. That's very like most of the people they get very intimidated with rejection and them being criticized for the singing and what if what they're too occupied with what people have to say about themselves and most of them don't even give a head start to their own dreams. And what you have said is truly inspiring for anybody who seems to doubt themselves.
Well, I hope somebody out there that may be interested in being in the music
Mm,
scene just takes that advice. And because a lot of times, especially when I was younger, I would
mm,
just be so afraid to take that next step
mm,
in
mm,
fear that I was going to fail. But,
mm,
if you don't take that next step, who's to
mm,
say that it doesn't help get you to the
mm.
next step? And if it doesn't, at least you learned from it
Learn
and know
something. You
what to
try.
do different moving forward.
Hmm. And Mackenzie, you told us about your deep interest for country music. So let us know who are your favorite artists from the particular genre, and how do you make sure that while you're singing a country song, you respect the artist, but at the same time, you're also reflecting your singing abilities there?
Well, definitely like the artists that helped mold me into being a country music fan and a country singer was, of course, back in the day, like I said, Miranda Lambert, Carrie
Mm,
Underwood. And then I loved Loretta Lynn. She is one of like the very first people that I ever got introduced to in the country scene. But in today's time, I very much enjoy Ashley McBryde. I think she is a fantastic singer, songwriter. I've gotten to meet her, and she is just perfect. Like what you see online is what you get with her, and that's what I try to be everywhere I go. But they really helped mold me into who I wanted to be as an artist, and they inspire me every day.
okay, that's good. And Mackenzie, how is your music career looking now? Now that you have been part of the show and you have had the exposure of a national reality TV show, what is there on your plate? What are you coming up with the new music? What are your performances that are scheduled? Let's just know about that.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see what 2026 holds. I do have some awesome projects in the works that I'm going to be releasing at the beginning of the year, so people can be on the lookout for that on any of my social medias. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I do have my website, which is MackenziePhipps.com, where people can go check out where I'm going to be playing at, what music I have released currently, as well as I do have merch items on there. So if people want to go snag them up some Mackenzie Phipps merch, they can go check it out.
That's really lovely, Mackenzie. And is there any pre-performance ritual or pre-performance practice that you would make sure that you need to get done before you were either performing as a contestant for the show or while you go and perform for your fans?
The one thing that I really did start doing while I was out shooting for the show was I was using a vocal nebulizer,
Hmm.
because I have really bad allergies. And then when I had to fly all the way out to California and it's dry as a desert, I struggled so much with vocal health because I just didn't have enough hydration. So, one thing I have been implementing is, of course, having a good warm up and then using my vocal nebulizer to really hydrate my vocal cords and have them ready for shows. And I have been doing that recently with my shows that I have every weekend now. So that's been really helping a lot. So that is becoming a normal routine for me.
Okay, and Mackenzie, music career is very, very, even physically, mentally, emotionally exhausting. So there must be days where you feel too overwhelmed to, just get up and sing, and you're too tired for whatever the reason be. How do you keep yourself motivated even in those days where you do not feel your best self?
You just slap on makeup and do your hair and just go do the dang thing. But also, I have such an amazing support system behind me. I
Mm,
have incredible parents that have always
mm,
been supportive of me since day one. I have
mm,
a incredible husband who
mm,
is in music with me and does
mm,
everything with me. So he truly is my rock and keeps me going, and as well as my PR team and everybody out there that has stood by my side. They really help me just keep going, and they inspire me on days that I may just be a little down or just not in the mood to be doing stuff. But I this has just become life, and this is just second nature to me. So it's just kind of one of those things where you wake up and you're like, all right,
This
It's a
is what
new
I have
day.
to
We're
do.
gonna do this, and then we're gonna go to bed, and it's all gonna restart.
Okay, and that was really lovely having this conversation with you, Mackenzie, and getting to learn about your journey. And we wish you all the best for all your future endeavors and looking forward to your new music and your fancy merches that are coming up.
Yes, well, thank you so much for talking with me. And I hate that we had all the
That's all
connection
right.
issues and my
It
light
happens.
over here just turned off. It's been a
Okay.
day.
Have a good
But
day.
I thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too.